Hi, I'm Coach Kane from Straight Blast Gym, Portland, Oregon. This is Coach Ella. I really enjoyed Coach Matt's series he did on half guard bottom, and it reminded me of something I wanted to shoot that I hadn't had a chance to shoot yet. And it's looking at half guard and breaking it into upper body and lower body fights, which is something I sometimes do when I coach. And so what I want to do on today's video is look at some of the ways you can use your legs when you're in half guard bottom. And there's a bunch of different positions we can use. So let's start taking a look. I'm gonna have Ella get in my half guard here. And because I'm separating the fights out, I'm just gonna always have an underhook here. And the first one is the most basic one. It's the one everybody's taught when you first start learning half guard, and it's the triangle kickstand, I call it, triangle kickstand, because I triangle my legs, my foot goes flat to make a kickstand here. I think that's a great base position, and it has the best holding ability of the bottom leg. And so the strength of that one is A, it has good holding, and then B, that kickstand allows for some hip drive. And so if I'm gonna make that one really nice and secure, I'm gonna get a good triangle bite. I'm gonna bring my heel in close to my body and then kick it out a little bit, and then I'm going to squeeze my knees together like that. And it's a super tight bite that Ella's not going to be able to release, and that knee squeeze together also gives me a better connection to her body. And because I've got that kickstand there, I've got a lot of really good drive here. And so the triangle kickstand like that is a really effective leg position. And a lot of times this is the one that everybody does, and they ignore all the other stuff that can happen from here. So let's look at some of the other things that you can do from this position, half guard bottom. Coach Matt mentioned the butterfly half guard, which is a really popular one. And I'll look at that one in a minute, but first I want to look at some ways to get out to the butterfly half guard, because if Ella's playing a good half guard bottom, her knee is going to be in on this side, and it's going to make it really hard for me to butterfly hook. And so one of the ways I win that fight is to change up my leg fighting position here, and I'm going to do what I call a double knee stomp, which is here, like that. And so I take the palms of my feet and put them on the back of her knee here like that. And what that allows me to do is if she tries to drive her knee forward, yeah, I can use that to scoop it out. And so I can apply pressure there. And so the palms of my feet are on the back of her leg, and I'm able to open up space. And then watch this foot, it's gonna just come right in to the butterfly really easy. And now I got the butterfly hook. And so if I'm in triangle kickstand, she brings her knee in, yeah, and I wanna go to butterfly, I'm gonna palm the back of her calf or the back of her knee there, and use that to slide her leg out, butterfly hook. Now when I get butterfly hook, it's still real important that I squeeze my knees together this way, like that, because that's gonna give me a good bite on her leg and connection to her hip like that. And then now that I've got that butterfly hook, I have really good sweeping ability, and you could do the sweep that Matt taught. That works really well. Now let's look at something else here. I'm gonna do a one-legged half guard bottom from this position. So I'm gonna take this foot out and remove it from the equation. Now this one, I'm gonna put my knee on the mat and my toes on the mat on the other side. And then in order to do that, I have to tilt my hip a little bit this way, and it creates a really good bite on both sides of her leg. And I'm able to do it one-legged. What that allows me to do is now I can place this leg wherever I need in order to get a lot of really good pushing energy. Yeah, or get it in a spot where I can get to butterfly hook. And so you can do a one-legged as long as you have good sort of adhesion and connection to the mat on both sides. So notice my knee is not up in the air like this. I'm gonna turn until it touches, and then my foot does a hook around her leg there. So there's another great position.
Breaks out my posture.
Yeah, it begins to kind of, Ella says it kind of breaks out her posture a little bit, and you can feel it from the top and the bottom when you do that. It begins to sort of attack this leg. All right. one of the things that I'll do from this one-legged posture when I have this leg out is I'll use it to begin, my out leg, to begin to attack this leg. And so because I've isolated it with my single leg, I can come over the top of it like this at the ankle, and then I can remove this one and then use this to pull that leg out. And yeah, that begins to create a really bad scenario for her. That should allow me to come on top because it really begins to break her posture. So what I'm doing with that one, go to your hands and knees, is I'm hooking my leg over like this, and I'm doing that. And you can see how it jacks up her hip and posture there. So with a triangle kickstand, I go to single leg like that. And then I can, if I want, come over the top and grab and then release and then break out her posture right there. And you can see her hip is dipping there because it really begins to screw up her posture. All right, so that's a few on that side of the body. Believe it or not, if I switch my legs over, I have more stuff that I can do to fight. So let's look at a couple more. So you can half guard by taking the leg in the center and bringing it over the top. You can also half guard by taking the outside leg and bringing it over. And I like that one sometimes too, because that one, again, it allows me to break down her posture. So if I'm going to do that one, just as a position, I'll bring it over, and then I scoop my leg in like this, and then I drive my knee right there, like that. And so what that does is it gives me good adhesion to her hip with my thigh here like this. And it's going to make it really hard for her to pull her leg out. Now watch what I'm going to do with this leg is I'm just going to squeeze with my knees together like that. Now try to take your leg out the center. It's a really good tight bite there. And so it gives me a really good tight bite. So here, like that, there, and then squeeze my knees together like that. And so there it is. And then this leads to the controversial one, which is the lockdown, where I hook and do this. Now, I don't like the lockdown as a position. The only thing I like the lockdown for is to extend the leg so that I can have room to either insert butterfly, hook, or sweep right away. And so, again, if I throw the other leg over, then the lockdown becomes available here like that. Now notice when I extend Ella's leg here like this, she's lost her post on that corner right there. And then she's super easily sweepable. So that's one of the reasons I might do the lockdown, is to do that. The other reason is when I do the lockdown, my butterfly hook is immediately available. And sometimes I'll do it just to make space for a butterfly hook. And so what I don't do is I don't get on a lockdown and then just hold it like this, because I don't think it's an effective position there. If Ella just lifts her heel up towards her backside, she's just completely unhooked it. And so anybody who knows jiu-jitsu is just going to do that and unhook it, and then it just becomes a stupid fight. And so I would do that in a sweep, or I would do that in a butterfly hook and then go. And so I think I'll stop there. There's probably a few more things you can do. What I'm trying to introduce to you is the idea that there's a bunch of different sort of leg, foot entanglements that you can use when you're in half guard bottom to begin to apply pressure. And if you look at techniques people use in half guard bottom, you're going to see these leg positions all over them. And so one good way then to break down half guard is to separate out that part from the arm framing, pummeling part that happens with the upper body, and practice those as, separately and together. And so it would be totally reasonable, and I've done this many, many times, to do half guard bottom drills where I'm only working on applying pressure with my legs in that way. So I'm looking at extending and stretching out the legs, breaking their posture, inserting butterfly hooks and lifting, getting my kickstand leg and shoving my hip, all those sort of things, so I can understand the fight from half guard bottom. And doing that with just a few of these positions, if you add a couple of these in, can really improve your half guard. All right, give that a try and let me know how it goes.